Stand. Tripod stand. A tripod stand. Okay, live Zoom meeting. Discussing some game-changing stuff, people. Okay, Mr. Justin, are you there? Okay, let's give him a chance. Let's give them a chance. How would it look? Okay. I wonder. Be you. Basically, I'll get that. Okay. Mr. Justin. Oh, your sound. Oh no, sorry, my thing is the wrong way. There you go. Your sound. You just have to join the audio.
Can you hear me, buddy?
Now I can hear you perfectly. Brother Keenan, how are you?
Oh, Dave, how's it? Can you hear me with this mask on? Because I can't take my mask off.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. How are you, Mr. Justin? You good?
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing good.
Wonderful, man. I see you busy. Eh? What work do you do, by the way? What's your work?
I'm a sports massage therapist and a sports conditioning coach.
Okay, cool. Where?
So I work for UJ and then I also work privately. So yeah, but like obviously with the private situation now, it's a bit dormant due to lockdown regulations. So yeah,
okay, cool.
Just chilling at home.
Okay, power. But man, I'm excited for you. There's a couple of projects that I think you're gonna just change. You're gonna bring a new level to it. So I think I actually want to get involved in this discussion right now, so that we can discuss this, and then maybe at the end of the meeting, I can tell you about that project. But we have been discussing it. I sent you some content. Did you have a look at it yet?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you, Keenan, how are you, dude?
I am alright, bro. I was in isolation.
Yeah.
So,
but COVID is done now, right?
Yeah. So, hey, now I'm out. Busy hustling my brother because I missed out on like 2 weeks of span.
Okay.
So it's time now. It's a bit tough. Yeah.
Okay. Because like I'm not saying the idea, but the event that we're planning, you are also heavily involved there, dude. So there's a couple of haircuts that we're gonna need from a professional like vibe. You're gonna need to be cutting Mr. Justin's hair. You're gonna need to be cutting a friend of mine, Mr. Wasim. He's gonna be your co-presenter, Mr. Justin. That's quite exciting. Then you're also gonna need to be cutting my hair. And there's a couple of guys. I think there's about 10 guys, dude. And then you can bill us for that. And obviously, I think that will help as well with your absence for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, let me first finish with my current bow that I'm busy with here.
Okay, cool.
Oh, this man for 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, I can see the hair is a bit crazy, man.
Devon. What you trying to say, Devon? What you trying to say?
I'm just saying, I'm stating facts, bro. That's why. But by the way, I have to let you guys know this is being recorded.
Okay.
I sent you the link as well, Mr. Justin, so you can just check it out when you're done. I've sent you the same link, Mr. Keenan, so you can also check it out, just in case you need to review some points, whatever the case is. So this is what I would like to discuss now. Individual brands. Right, so I know, Mr. Johnson, you said that you want to actually go beyond the scope of sport, right? You are a public figure already. Maybe you can just tell me what are some of the other things that you are really interested in doing, and then we can begin the discussion like that. Yeah.
So like around the baseline of like, I've always been interested in presenting, for instance, being that sort of, I don't know, engagement. I like grasping people's attention in that sense of like having fun with it or being motivational in, but like I said most of the last time, through the comedic side of it. Is that
Yeah.
if I'm going to be presenting, I want to still bring that level of seriousness, but also a comedic skip to it or a comedic side to it, whatever it is that it is. Yeah. But for me, public speaking now is I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
so basically you're saying you still want to have that your personality basically just shine through in any platform that you're getting involved in. So if it's a
Absolutely.
super sport, you want the normal Justin to come through and shine.
Absolutely.
Is that what you say? Okay, power. Okay, power. So I think, look, man, I think anything is possible. Is super sport maybe a go? Where would you like to speak? Let's say you were this, everyone knew you. You're the presenter, and everyone is on your, or you are on the lips of everyone. Where would you see yourself? Where would you like to be presenting? On what platform? Maybe give me some insight there. Have you thought about it?
Because I have a strong passion for the sport industry itself, sport and fitness. Your likeliness of super sport. What's another good one that's in SA currently? Yeah, actually,
SAB.
super sport is the biggest.
Okay, okay. So what sport would you like to then be covering? Is there a particular sport, or you just want to be that guy who's the main attraction? You know, like when they call you, you are the World Cup.
Athletics. I won't even like track and field is generally where I would like to see myself. Whether it be from an analytical point of view, or if it is just the on-site guy who's about to give the scope of things about to happen for the day and the results or whatever. But with obviously within somewhere particular that I know very well, and that's track and field.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. But what about football? Because I saw there was some, I don't know, was it photos that I saw? You in a football outfit, or was that a rugby outfit? You did play football. Was it rugby?
I played a bit of football back in the day, yeah, but I was always that kid who used to dabble in all the sports, man. You play soccer, you play badminton, you play rugby, you be everything.
Okay. Okay, power. So then, okay, so super sport is something that you would like to be on your bucket list. I think that's very cool. Have you thought about maybe starting your own show and, like doing something right now, maybe going around checking at, I don't know, the different athletic spaces, the different athletic fields? Have you thought about talking to people who are in the athletic space, like just in a one-on-one interview type session?
I have thought about it, but I've never actually executed. Like my baseline that I always wanted to start off with was either like a podcast. Like I always saw myself either if it was on TV, then I would like to within the radio space and still giving that insight via radio presenting, for instance.
Okay.
But I haven't really actually executed like propose to people or go on to companies and be like, okay, listen, this is what I can offer, or what are you guys all about and stuff like that. But it's always just been a thought where I weigh up the pros and cons. Yeah.
Okay. So what would your focus then be? So let's say you are the presenter in the athletic space, right? That's what you're known for. What would your focus be? Would it be talking to people who are on that level, on a professional level already, or talking maybe to the next generation of stars? So maybe you go around talent scouting, both.
Both, absolutely both. Yeah, like I would enjoy speaking to those who already have the experience. Let's say you're looking at a two-time Olympian, and then I like speaking to those who are attaining to that, who want to be the two-time Olympian, or even just get to the Olympics itself. I like speaking to both sides of the story, if that makes any sense.
It does. Okay, cool. It does. That makes a lot of sense. So, with that being said, right, and the reason why I'm not really asking Mr. Keenan questions, because I think we've had this discussion already. If I can also just give you some backdrop, Keenan was telling me that he wants to be speaking to people who have changed the narrative. So this is about people who come from a certain environment, but they've broken the stereotype. It's people who have gone on a journey. Maybe they were stuck in a certain place, for example, whether that be addiction to whatever, but they broke free from that, and now they are doing something really cool, really inspiring. that's the people that he wants to be cutting. If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Keenan?
Yeah.
Lovely.
And
Yeah.
more of our people. If I could put it in that.
Okay, cool. When you say
Yeah.
our people, are you talking about like colored people, maybe black people as well, or specifically colored people?
Colored people, yeah.
Okay.
Because
Okay. Okay, cool. I like that. Okay, so let me explain why I think that's actually a very good idea. Is because I think as a nation, as a colored nation, I think a lot of people have maybe underestimated the potential of colored people. So maybe by doing this campaign that Keaton is about to go on now, I think it will actually bring a lot of light to what people are doing in the world, especially like colored people, you know. So I think that's really cool. So where, I don't know, Mr. Justin, you're gonna have to tell me now, but I think you would actually be perfect for this. So you saw the videos that Keenan and I were doing. You were part of that video as well, having the discussions with people, getting to know who they are, maybe getting to know their stories. I'm thinking, right? There's two things that we can do here. We can actually, I don't want to say piggyback, but we can leverage off of Keenan's campaign, right? So I was telling Keenan, like, okay, cool, we need to choose 10 colored people that have inspired a nation or inspired their community, who are really doing some cool stuff, and actually go and cut that person's hair. And we like create some sort of post-content production around that. So the interview part is that I think you can actually do well with this, because firstly, why this is cool is because we now don't have to go to someone who has followers, if that makes sense. Because you already have a following, we just plug you into this campaign. So you now bring in the numbers. Keenan is bringing the skill set, is bringing the idea, and we're going to be creating some sort of content around it. I think that will be a perfect leverage on each end. I don't know, right? So I think
because then there's now the jack of all trades, because you have your specialty. You know exactly what you're doing behind that camera. And for instance, if you feel comfortable, let's say, designing the questions or for that specific interview, I have no problem executing it the way that you envision it, for instance, and bringing that sort of presenter, attitude to everything. And obviously, making it fun experience for everybody. And then with Kinas coming in and making it, and that's like the cherry on the top, because now you're working with three dynamics that is making this probably a very unique interview experience for that person, if that makes any sense. So yeah,
it does. And I like that. I like your thinking there. But I think even when it comes to the questions and that sort of thing, because our aim is to get you, it's not our aim to get you, you have that aim for yourself, that's your own ambition. But basically you now need to showcase your skill set. So I think if you are the person designing the questions, you are controlling the entire interview process, I think that's going to help you a lot, because firstly, you're going to be developing a new skill set. And this skill set will allow you to go into any environment, whether it be in the athletic space. You can go in there with your skill set and still shine. If it's in football, you can go in there with your skill set and still shine. Whether it's a panel discussion, whether it's a one-on-one interview, I think if you look at it like that, that's when everyone really does win. So yes, there's content that's being developed, that's cool. But where we are all winning is I'm further developing my skills around the content creation. You are further developing your skills around your interview, your interview skills, basically. Yeah. And then Keenan is obviously developing his skill set by cutting hair again. This is the thing that's actually going to make us masters of our craft. But yeah.
I can also develop that same skill that you are busy developing at the same time.
With content creation.
Switch it up as we go on, as we gain experience.
From observation.
You understand? Then,
No. Explain that again. Explain that again.
So as we move along and as we grow, maybe they can switch it up where the questions could be asked in from my side as well, if we are developing in that route,
Because I think, like, also, a skill can be developed through observation. If you observe for a very long time, if let's say someone's busy cutting grass as an example, and you watch someone cut grass for a good amount of months or whatever, you develop a level of like, okay, wait, man, I think I know what I'm doing. Let me give it a try, type of thing. So I think what Kinas is saying, he has the potential of doing that. There's for me, I don't see a problem with it at all, in the sense of like, you know, tap into those uncomfortable spaces. If you were always scared to interview or sit down, hey, let's see, you know, put yourself in and do it. Just get it over and done with, because I think that's the only way a person can actually see, you know, what is this for me? Okay, that's how I felt in that moment. Is there something that I can do better? And I think it's but I think everything in its own stride.
I think that would be cool, but I think we should then create a separate campaign for that. So maybe, I don't know if you know about LeBron James. So he has this show called Uninterrupted,
yes.
And it's basically in a barbershop setting, and
they talk about
like,
all the stories. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe that's what we can then do, because that allows each individual, that allows each person to have their platform. So you're going to be sitting there, Mr. Justin, you'll be sitting there, Mr. Keenan, I'll be sitting there, and then we add a guest as well. And we sort of just have like this discussion on a certain topic, and we create content around that. But I think, go.
That can be then run as our second campaign after this.
Yes.
When this gains traction.
Yes. So I think that's going to be perfect. So what we then have to do right now is just like formalize the structure. So right now with this campaign, I'll be the one behind the camera. Mr. Justin will be in front of the camera interviewing the person who's getting their hair cut. Right? And then we're going to have Mr. Keenan, who's on the barber side. You're going to be doing a thing, bro. And then we sort of package that content. We create, I'm thinking about 4 or 5 clips around that. One music video, if I can say it like that. And then we have like 3 other just random discussion topics or something. And then we have one structured video that is like fully compiled and fully productive. That has full production on it. And we release that. That's the piece that actually goes towards paid content. So there's a platform that I'm thinking about. I spoke to this about my partner, Mr. Keenan, and he sort of, I don't know if he shot down the idea, but he wasn't really agreeing with it. And I'll explain why. So we've developed this brand called Pro Arena Sports, right? So Pro Arena Sports, we're going to have the live stream setup. People will have to download the app to access it. They'll have live stream setups for our events that we're going to be running. And then we're going to have video on demand. So the video on demand is basically like content that people can access at any time. And they'll pay a monthly subscription to have access to all of this. So I proposed the idea of, hey, Keenan's doing this. Why don't we tag along, sit down with athletes and let them be discussing. So he was a bit shaky with it, because it was like, dude, you're doing sports, but now we have someone that's cutting hair that's on the same platform. So he doesn't know how that sort of fit in. But I think it makes a lot of sense, especially if we're cutting sports people. So our page, the product that we are pushing is the sport product. So as long as there is a sport person involved, I think it should qualify. But that's on my side. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is, let's structure the thing, right? We do this. Mr. Justin is on the interviews. Keenan, you on the barber. I'm on but just capturing the moment. And then what I think we should do now going forward, right? Let's find, I think 10 people works. I think 10 people works. I think it's a very reasonable goal. We set the 10 people, and then we also set a time frame to it. We set some sort of communication strategy as to how we're going to be getting the 10 people, and then we go after it. We secure these 10 people. Once we have these 10 people, we can then begin to put numbers behind it. Hey, look, Mr. Justin has 10,000 followers, and for each view, we're getting about 5,000 views. For each video, we're getting about 5,000 views. Now we're adding this person who also might have a following. Our viewership is moving from 10,000 to 20,000, maybe. And that's when we can begin to go like to wall and be like, hey, pay for this content. Let's put your logo on it, or we create some sort of marketing strategy around it.
Because
and
obviously, you don't want that to come to that point of like, hey, listen, there's a lot of traction that's coming here. So you guys are going to step up your game in terms of if you want to be featured, because then nothing stops Keenan from taping up his clippers to, turn us off the wall. And now you need to pay for the fact that he's using your product. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's literally just free advertising and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's now where the brands need to start chasing you and saying, okay, listen, you guys are doing good. Take the tape off. We are willing to pay this much per follower or per view that you guys are getting, type of thing. Whatever that is.
Yeah. So what we then can do is maybe create, I have my logo. Maybe Mr. Justin, you create your logo. Mr. Keenan, you create your logo. And then we put that on the bottom of the video clip. So then if Wall wants to do it, they have to basically buy out one of the logos that are there. And so I think that will work. So each logo is worth a price. Center logo, which is the biggest, we'll use yours, Mr. Justin, because your logo, your brand, I think, is very significant. And I think people will know it. So we put yours in the middle, biggest one. Mine will be on the side, Keenan's will be on the side, slightly smaller. And then we tell people, okay, cool, you have to pay X amount to buy out this video clip, or not this video clip, this logo, and then we can replace it. I think that would be a good strategy as well.
I mean, whatever's been used, whether it be, let's say there's a soccer ball that's present, or if there's whatever, nothing is, I always learned that if you're really good at something, you should never do it for free, if that makes, if it's a case of, hey, Adidas ball is sitting over here, no, Adidas needs to be coming to the party in terms of, hey, listen, if you featured and known as, oh, you were the it was powered by Adidas or powered by Wall or whatever the case may be, you need to come to the party. We're not gonna just stuff in the video because Jay.
Yeah.
So
Okay, power. So I think
you need permissions actually for that type of stuff. You can't just put the Adidas ball on an advert. Or put or wear specific clothing. The clothes, you can't just put it on an advert without permission.
Yes. So
at some stage, obviously, I know I'm thinking now far ahead, but obviously at some stage, it will become its own brand where the leeway then can be granted of like, oh, listen, people are really loving this, and if people start asking questions about, are you guys willing to start a clothing brand or whatever, then that's a totally different conversation as well, because that's usually, I think, what happens as well is that they see three dudes who have the same hoodie or sweater on, whatever, and it looks cool. No, man, guys, please put this on sale or make mass production or whatever the case. We also want to, be part of the brand or whatever the case may be. And then that's something that will come a bit later that happens with good traction of good content. And
Yeah, I don't think it has to be that far in the future, though. I think that's very possible, like right now. So if you look at it, we can actually, okay, let me give you the model, right? So in the Pro Arena Sports, right, this event that's coming up, we're going to be having a paddle partner. So the paddle partners they're going to be designing the clothes, but it will be specific to how we want it. So there'll be like a logo on the chest, logo here, and then a logo at the back, right? And people are actually going to be paying for their logos to be on it. And then what that means is it's Adidas that is creating the shirt, but it will be a Pro Arena Sport range. So we can just collab with our own range, and our own range has this, but it's designed and developed by Adidas. And then we sell like a limited quantity of that, maybe 100 at a time. Once 100 is done, it's done. It's gone forever, never to be repeated. Catch the next jersey if you can. I think that's what we should do. Which actually now it begs the question: then should we not then maybe form a unique brand from the get-go? What are your thoughts there?
I think it would be dope, because like it would be significant enough from my perspective. I mean, these are the three dudes who, I don't know, who's gonna really break barriers. That just, I envision it already. So like if you really, I mean, think about it nowadays, the in thing relatively is music and fashion. People like being exclusive. If you like, but me, I have a, whatever the brand will be called at that stage, depending on how we're gonna collab it. I'm one of 20 I'm one of 20 people who have this sweater because these dudes only, do you follow them? Hey, do you know these guys on YouTube and stuff like that? I have their hoodie type of thing, so people like feeling exclusive, and that's the nice, that's where you really, you make a killing when it comes to fashion. And especially the color coordination, like you get people who really know their stuff when it comes to fashion. What's appeasing to people's eyes, what's the thing, those styles and stuff like that. I don't think it's far-fetched now. The way you're putting it now, and now that I'm thinking about it, it's really not that far-fetched.
Okay, power. So what do you think, Mr. Keenan? Do you think this is something that we should create immediately, like a single brand immediately? Because remember, if we are going at this thing at different brands, that is 3 different markets that we're trying to appeal to. But if we form one brand, it's one market that we're now trying to appeal to. Yeah.
I think
so what do you think?
More simplified that way.
If it's one brand.
One brand, yeah. And focus on that one.
Because then there's not too many
focusing on
parts.
3 things, we focus on that one brand and building that one brand.
Okay. I think that's perfect. So then we can actually develop, just idea is going now, we can develop our own app, stream our live cuts. We can have like live sessions, live interactions with maybe that, stream through our app, live sessions, and then also video on demand sessions, interviews with the different people that we have in our database. And then we have on that same, have like just a link that people can click, and that takes you to the shop where you can then buy the limited edition outfit. How does that sound?
Better now? Wait, what's happening?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Or did you just pause?
No, I didn't pause. I was talking. What did you hear? What's the last thing you heard?
No, the last thing that I heard was what you call this? The last thing that I heard. The app, yeah. So app, and then what do you call this? Feeling exclusive. That was the last thing that I heard.
Okay, cool. So I think what we could do, right, is create an app, right? From the app, you can access live videos from that app. So maybe we're interviewing Stephen Pinar. We're interviewing Stephen Pinar on the 20th of August. Join in live. Maybe drop your questions or whatever the case is, but catch the live feed, right? So people can then access it through our app, and then we can create video on demand. So the full interview clip cut and edited, that will now go to video on demand. And that's where we can like list our link for that particular hoodie. So maybe every episode, but let's just say every episode we then create a hoodie or some sort of apparel specifically designed through our app. Click that link and then go and purchase that specific hoodie.
Yes.
How does that sound?
Yes, okay. Because then almost like it's like you want that limited type of feel.
It's a limited edition.
Yeah. Like it's only gonna be for this week, or so you have 7 weeks to really try your best to try and get it type of thing. You know what I mean? And that's quite.
Yeah.
So we have
power.
Specific amount as well.
Okay. Power. Okay, cool. So I think the way forward is then going to be this. When it comes to this, we're going to need to formulate a brand. So we're going to need a name. We're going to need a logo. But never mind that. The content is going to be very important. So we have to be delivering high quality content. So who are the people that we're going to be interviewing? That's number one. We need to come up with a short list of 10 people. Once we can come up with that short list of 10 people, we can then set dates to those interviews. Once the dates are then set, we can then begin to hype this thing. We can then begin to, create some sort of video content where it's just like typography that's coming across, catch the interview with this person. And then we have you, Mr. Justin, as part of the driving campaign. Hey, I'm going to be interviewing this person on this date, be there live, catch the live stream, make sure that you get our hoodie that's going to be on display that day. Like something like that. I think our first focus should be that. Let's get out list of 10. let's say dates to that 10, then we can focus on marketing those 10 interviews. And then we can do, that will be our test, our trial and error.
Okay, cool.
Setup. Yeah. And I think with that, we can try to sell the ad space so that we can monetize that immediately. We try and sell those 10 interviews.
Yes. Okay.
And yeah, sell those 10 interviews. And then maybe once that campaign is done, maybe around 7 or 8, interview number 7 or 8, we then create another short list of 10 people. This time we're marketing it differently. I think by this time you'll have some capital. Now we can look at creating our own apparel that we can now sell. And once that has gone, now we're generating some form of cash flow. We can then look to the app, structure the app, pay for the app, get everything on the app, create a video on demand session, have people pay a monthly fee to belong to our app. Now cash flow is going to be ready. Now we can be creating our own hoodies. We can be like now the opportunities become endless. So I think in my head, I think that's the steps that we need to follow. What are your thoughts?
Lovely, lovely. No, I like that.
And in that way, we don't put our campaign out. You see, like with our interviews, now we don't have to search and go and ask people for permission first and stuff like that, because we're now looking at the Jacaranda FM, this one, that one. It's difficult to get people. You understand? So now people lined up, we have a plan. You get what I'm saying? It's just a we discuss and we say, okay, I'm speaking to this one, I'm speaking to that one. We already spoken to the people, we have it planned out, we have our dates set, everything. The campaign is running, flowing.
Power. So I think that's perfect, because once that thing is set up, the brand that we are talking about will be formalized, and it will basically begin to be a monster on its own. It will just need management here and there. But what's very cool about this, right? And this is the power of personal branding, is that Mr. Keenan, you can still be doing your natural blends thing on the side. You can still be cutting the people that you want to be cutting. Mr. Justin, you can still be doing your athletics. You can still be talking to Super Sport and to Pro Arena Sports and to all of these other things in your own personal capacity, whilst that brand that we've created is still running. So I think that's really cool. So I don't know. I think
Sorry, Dave. Sorry to break your word there. Carry on. You want that?
No, you go. No, you go.
I was just thinking, eventually it will be at the stage where you won't actually have time to be just doing the norm anymore. Because campaign after campaign after campaign, if you nicely, you won't be able to. That will be what we are doing, basically. The trial, it will be part of that. That will be the work.
And I would want to give, give my what do you call this, man? My undivided attention, to it. Because I want to see it. I want to see it thrive, work at the end of the day. So if it means, hey, listen, you make a sacrifice here and there, it's no problem. But I really want to put as much as I possibly can of my time, effort, concentration, everything on that, and really see, there's nothing wrong with if shit hits the fan, we try and pick up the pieces and we move on, type of thing. But as long as one knows, listen, at least your 100% was given, man. We did some shit. So that for me is just the most important part.
It's gonna be the consistency in doing what we're gonna be doing.
Okay, cool. I like that. So I think what I will then do, I'll create that structure, that whole vision, just the organization profile. That's what I'll focus on, because right now that's my bread and butter. So I'll focus on the organizational profile. I don't know, Mr. Justin and Mr. Keenan, you guys will have to talk, come up with the short list, right? Okay. Come up with the short list. I'll also come up with, in the organization profile, you'll see it as soon as it's done, or as soon as I've gotten to page 5 or whatever the case may be, or there's some sort of structure, I'll send it to you. Then you can just give me feedback, add this, no, take this out, add this, no, take this out, so that we can formalize it so that it's really cool. Once that's done, we can then create, we call it a communication flow. So basically, how are we going to be approaching different people, what we'll be speaking to the different people that we want involved. Because I think it's important that we all speak the same language when it comes to this brand. so that Keenan's not saying one thing, I'm not saying something else, and Mr. Justin is not saying something else. We're all saying the same thing in our own different ways, in our own different spaces. So I think that's very important. So now that that's done, right, I think that's the way forward. Logo and things like that, let's first get the organization structure. Let's get the 10 pieces down.
Okay.
I think that's good for now. What I then also want to discuss with you, Mr. Justin, is this campaign that we are going to be pushing, right, around the pro arena sport. So COVID is real, COVID is here, but we have actually found a way to make COVID benefit us during this time. So something that COVID has guaranteed us is that people are more on their phone now than ever, right? Because they're sitting at home. What else are they doing? So that means it's time for us to be creating content and pushing content out. I would like to create like some sort of banner with you.
Okay.
Being like, hey, Mr. Justin is now part of the Pro Arena Sports family. This is his role. And then I'm going to do the same thing for a friend of mine. His name is Wasim Fortain.
Okay.
I don't know how you're going to find it, but yeah. Create like these sort of posters, put that up. Once that is up, I would like for you to then begin to know the communication strategy. So you will have the whole road to glory explained, right? That's our campaign for the Pro Arena Sport, the road to glory. So the road to glory is basically from day one to the day of execution to even the movie that will be pushed out after the event is done. So you actually going to be along that entire process. You're going to be very instrumental. So initially, the idea would be we're going to announce the event. We're going to announce the presenters, you and Wasim, and maybe myself and Jordan as the organizers will have a discussion online, create some sort of content around it, push that to our page so that we can create hype, create traffic. So this is something that I even explained to Mr. Joker. Mr. Joker is the ambassador of that event coming up.
Yes.
And I explained to him that I don't want to be creating content for my page and his page. In the same way, I'm going to tell you, I don't want to be creating content for my page and your page. So I'm rather just going to create the content, put it on my page. You will then begin to drive traffic to that page. So if people want to see you involved in Pro Arena Sports, they go to the Pro Arena page.
Exactly. That makes better sense. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So interview with us initially, then an interview with the captains, right? We're going to have 4 captains. You're going to have an interview with those 4 captains, you and Wasim. After that's done, we're then going to go into the combine. You're going to have to be creating the hype, and we'll guide you, obviously. We need to create the blueprint for it, but you're going to need to be creating hyping content, if that makes sense, around the combine. Do you know what the combine is?
Yes.
So, yes, okay, cool. So the combine, we would like for you to be there. And I know that it's in the south, you Arena, right? It's not too far from you. The venue is the view in Kibla Park.
Oh, that's like 5-10 minutes away.
I know, which is actually quite perfect. So when the combine is happening, I will need you and Wasim both there to be talking us through the combine, to be like commentating on it. We're going to have a live stream. Ideally, I would like to test our live stream feed on that day. But even beyond that, we'll be creating post-content production from that, highlights, snippets. If you look at what ESPN is doing, ESPN loaded one video that was like 5 minutes long of just people slam dunking the ball from their combine. And that went viral too. That went viral. I'm talking about 500,000 views just from people dunking the ball for 5 minutes, different people. So it shows us that there's potential in simple content. If we keep the content simple, we have some sort of production around it, I think we can win. So even beyond that, we're going to need to, on the day of the event, we're going to be having want to set up some sort of panel discussion where you and Wasim will lead it. You can speak to the sponsors of the event. Just, like a 15-minute setup where you're just asking them questions and they're giving you feedback. We'll create content around that as well. Maybe publish it as a panel discussion on sports sponsoring, or a panel discussion on new industries, how to invent new industries in the sports space. And we have that discussion and we put that on video on demand. And that's how we're going to be creating content for this. But something that I also want to let you know about is that we have a 5 and 10-year strategy around this brand. So I know you said super sport, but I really think that we're going to be something. No, okay, no, let me not. We're not comparing to super sport. I just think our niche is going to be really cool. But point I'm trying to make is we have a long-term strategy. So I'm also thinking about your brand, the Justin brand, being involved in something for 5 and 10 years. That's what I'm thinking about as well. So once we develop our blueprint from this event, we will know exactly what worked, what didn't work, what to do for the next event. I think that's it. So I just wanted to give you that breakdown around Pro Arena Sports.
Now, but at the end of the day, for me, it's about growth. And how can I put it? Super sport is always gonna be there. But to start something from scratch and build it into, something big, that is a different a venture to really go into, which is cool to know that hey, you are something, or you are part of something that is building up from scratch, and this is their vision, and to see it also fulfill itself. That's what I enjoy doing.
Power. Okay, so this is exactly what the Pro Arena Sports is then going to be for you. You'll be able to build, you'll actually be the face of the brand. So as long as your brand continues to grow, so will the brand of Pro Arena Sports, because we are basically tagging you. We are basically going to put our name behind yours. So when it comes even to the content production and that sort of thing, you will be the face. You and Wasim, or whoever we are partnering with, the idea is to create content for you on behalf of our brand, if that makes sense. So whenever you would like to maybe approach Supersport and be like, hey, people, I've done X events, check out the Pro Arena Sport page. They will be able to see the type of content that you've done. They'll be able to see the quality of work that you've done with our post-production packaging, because I think that's our leverage right there. Your leverage right now is you're a public figure. You've done some really cool things. You're an athlete. You have all of these things going for you. That's your leverage, right? So how we can actually amplify that is by our content production, is by our marketing strategies and by our marketing setup. That's what we would like to leverage but with you, so that both brands can benefit, so that both brands can grow as well. Something that I would also like to have a discussion with you on. Maybe you can let me know about your fees. What are your ideal fees for this event, and then even for future events? I think that's also going to be very important, because right now we are busy with the budget. So I want to know from your end. You don't have to tell me this via live stream. Maybe think about it. Maybe have a discussion with whoever is in your circle. Discuss it with them. What would your event fee be? Because now you now know and have an understanding of the work that is actually involved in this. It's not just the event, it's everything leading up to the event. Yes. So I think have a chat with your people, and then you let me know, and then we can see how we can actually achieve the fee that you want on the day. I think that would be cool.
No problem. No, I'll definitely do so.
So is there any questions you have for me?
I think you've been as transparent as one can possibly ask. So I think if anything does pop up that I do think about, then you'll be the first person to call. But thus far, everything has been, you've defined it very clearly for me, and it's exciting. It's exciting to know that that something is as great as this, and I'm stoked, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Man. Power. Oh, okay, cool. So what I will do is, you did send me images. I'm gonna tag you in the post. If you can, I'll send you the artwork obviously beforehand to let you know, hey man, this is what I want to post, just so that I'm also very clear in terms of not breaking your current deals that you have in place. I don't want to do that at all. So I'll send you the artwork first. Then you can approve it. Once it's approved, I'm going to post it on the Pro Arena Sport page. And then we can then move forward from there. And then you can obviously just begin to drive people to the page. Hey, check this page out. Hey, check this page out. Hey, check this page out. Follow the page, like the page, check the content. But I think the content, Dude, I actually got a like. I got a like. Mr. Keenan, listen to this. I got a like from the Springboks because I created the content. Yeah, from the official Springbok page. I created a poster, just like announcing the Boks are back in action. And they actually like that post. How cool is that? How cool is that? I'm telling you, and it was such a simple post. I have so much more things coming. I have so many other things coming. So yeah, the ball is rolling now. So it's just about continuing to grow the momentum so that eventually we'll begin to knock off these massive walls. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm done. I don't know from your side, Mr. Keenan, any questions from you, sir?
I'm good, boss. I understood.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
so now it's just echoing what you already discussed and right of it and all that. I'm happy.
Okay, Paul. So what you can do now is, if you want to recap any of our discussions, maybe because I know we don't do notes nowadays in this new digital world, everything is on video. So just tap the link. I sent it to you and to Mr. Keenan already. Okay, Paul. And I think that's it. I'm done. I'm happy. Your side?
Love it. I'm all good. You made my day.
Oh, Paul. That's dope. You, Mr. Keenan, you good?
As fruitful as always.
There you go. Okay, gentlemen, I will be out. Have a great day. Peace.
Same to you, Dave. Stay well.